tonight. Now that the surgical tower in Prince George is official, both the BC Conservatives and United parties will honor their commitments if elected. Plus, the Human Rights Commissioner has released a report highlighting 10 human rights issues affecting people in BC. And a send-off party was held today for a Paralympian from Prince George who's heading off to Paris. Good evening, folks. I'm Eddie Huband, and welcome to CKPG News. Our top story tonight: one person is dead following a shooting earlier this morning in Mackenzie. Mounties say the shooting occurred at a residence on Bijou Drive, with police arriving on scene to find a deceased man outside the home. The North District Major Crimes Unit has taken over the investigation and is working in collaboration with the Mackenzie RCMP and the BC Coroner Service. The public can expect to see an increased police presence in the area for the next couple days while the investigation continues. RCMP say the death appears to be an isolated incident with no further risk to the public. More crime news. A shoplifting blitz in Quesnel this week led to the arrest of 7 men and 1 woman, while 3 youth were detained for investigation as well. The blitz was launched due to frustrations over ongoing theft from local stores. The blitz led to the recovery of over $1,700 worth of goods and the recovery of a stolen semi-truck worth $25,000. In other news, it's well known now that the new patient tower in Prince George was announced last week, and it was long awaited. But now the leaders of 2 competing parties have committed to the project if elected later this fall, but not without concerns. Cheryl Jan reports.
Today, I'm proud to announce the approval of the business plan, which means we go forward to procurement and we build the darn thing.
It was just over a week ago when Health Minister Adrian Dix came to Prince George to announce a project that has been on the sidelines for years, a new surgical tower. But as with the 2 previous announcements around the same project, it's an election year. So we sought to get the opinions from the other 2 parties contested in this election.
We need a new surgical tower. There's many other services we need in Prince George as well. I've been supportive of this project for a decade, and so I'm glad to see that the NDP's actually announced this.
Kevin Falcon was in Prince George in mid-July with a very specific message: build the tower. His position and that of the BC United Party is crystal clear.
Not only are we committed, but the BC Liberals, now called BC United, have a long record of making commitments in Prince George and fulfilling them. That is the key, because as you know, that tower was promised by Adrian Dix prior to the last election. In fact, the day before the election, he phoned around saying he was going to build the tower. It's still not built.
However, much has changed since that visit, particularly the bill that jumped to $1.6 billion in today's dollars. For Falcon, he says the NDP's track record is not great.
I'm not going to take their numbers to heart at all. I can tell you what we will do is we will be smart in how we procure this project. We will make sure that the risk transfer on schedule and budget is over in the private sector, and we will get it built. I have no doubt the costs have gone up, but it's remarkable that years of delay by the NDP and their own incompetence in building anything has resulted in that kind of a budget escalation.
Rustad agrees the NDP's track record is not great when it comes to procurement of projects, but he admits the bill wasn't as high as he expected. And while he won't necessarily revisit the business plan, there's something he would do in advance.
I wouldn't want to go as far as to build a project that does not have the full scope of what we need to be doing within the hospital facility, within the North, as such a major facility as this is. So I would want to make sure we look at that project, make sure it's meeting all of those sort of needs, then plan for the construction, but at the same time make sure we're planning for the recruitment, because a building without people does not deliver health care.
With the project not slated to get off the ground at the site of the current health unit on Edmonton Street until 2026, and the election is in October, there is plenty of time to look at the project. At least, though, there is a commitment from all the parties to make it happen. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
There's a new wing at the BC Cancer Centre for the North. The BC Cancer Foundation unveiled the Selen and Anita Alpay Radiation Wing at the entrance of the Radiation Theatre at the centre. Here's more on today's Big Unveiling.
This is in recognition of their outstanding support and leadership in the community through business, through philanthropy, and through volunteerism. And specifically, they've made a lead gift towards our campaign to raise $2.2 million to fund a new clinical trial called Simplify that's being led right here from Prince George. What Simplify is looking to achieve is to deliver precision radiation in one dose rather than several doses. Often it can be dozens of fractions. And so that offers offers more precise treatment, and it's actually shown to have curative effect for people who have metastases of their cancers.
BC's Human Rights Commissioner recently released a report that looks at 10 key systems that are impacting human rights in BC. The report highlights significant inequalities and injustices affecting BC residents. And while it does not call for any recommendations, the goal is to enhance awareness and understanding. Adam Burles reporting.
British Columbia's Human Rights Commissioner Kasari Govender released a report Wednesday spotlighting 10 issues impacting human rights in communities in the province. These issues are key to how we interact with our economic, cultural, and social life in BC.
We looked at the education system, the healthcare system, we looked at housing, child protection, corrections in the criminal justice system. So we looked at 10 different systems. We didn't actually prioritize them in terms of which ones are worst, which ones are best. We wanted to look at it as more of an integrated whole.
Other systems highlighted include the rights to fair treatment in public spaces, fair treatment in the family sphere, and the right to an adequate standard of living. Dawn Hemingway was in Vancouver with the Commissioner when the report was released and was pleased to hear that the voices of those facing challenges were heard and included.
There is the voice of community there, and it shows that there are people across the province, whether it's organizations, individuals, people who are experiencing challenges. They are organizing themselves and trying to figure out how to speak up and make the changes that are necessary.
The Office of the BC Human Rights Commissioner initiated the report to create a baseline that can be used to monitor change over time and hopefully incentivize government and others to spark change.
We looked across the province, we looked at diverse communities, and we wanted to get that baseline understanding of the situation so then we can build actions on top of that. My hope is that this report will be used by advocates to build their work and asking for change. My hope is that it will be looked to by government and other decision makers who are trying to understand the situation that British Columbians are facing, and so they can better address them. And certainly I'll be relying on this work as we develop our priorities over the next few years.
When it comes to addressing challenges, Dawn Hemingway says that the foundation is there. It is just a matter of building on it.
I think we have the capacity as a country, as a province. We've got the resources, we've got people with the know-how to be able to make the kinds of changes we need to address the healthcare questions, to address the housing questions. We just have to implement those things and deal with some of the systemic foundations that seem to prevent us from doing that.
Adam Burles, CKPG News.
An organization at UNBC has created a new open-access, arts-based and anti-colonial website that offers a wide range of perspectives on culture. The goal of this is to open minds to the different cultures in society with an eye for greater acceptance. Cheryl Jan reporting once again.
There are 30 different what are called modules to the website, and it's open source, meaning
anybody can use it. You can use it for a journal club, you can use it for your own learning, you can use it as part of your curriculum in your classroom. It's absolutely available free for anyone to use.
it's a project, a labor of love that started a long time ago.
In 2008, the HARC team, the Health Arts Research Center, came together and they started creating anti-oppressive learning resources. And over the last 15 years, they've developed so many opportunities for people to learn how to be anti-oppressive in their practice and in their teaching and in their walking in the world. And this is just the next step of that.
It's called If Love is Our Last Hope, the Medicine Wheel is Our Compass. Look north to catch midnight, find death in winter.
Shannon Webb contributed several poems to the project, reaching far back into her roots.
She said, I'm a part of this website and we're looking for arts-based contributors. Would you be open to doing this work? I'm hoping that the poems provoke some discussion around how people see other people in the world and how poetry can be a space of healing.
Vanessa Mitchell is also one of the multitude of contributors. Hers is a commentary about the importance of so-called kitchen table talks around experiences in healthcare.
My parents and myself, we do cultural safety work, and I was able to bring in my children to this dialogue and conversation, and I was also able to bring in a relative and her daughter. And my relative, she does embodied story practice, so does a lot of things on the land and that are anti-colonial. So being able to come together and really prepare ourselves out on the land before we had this conversation.
And while many of the stories are around anti-colonialism, there are stories from many cultures. Let's take a cooking show involving 3 Filipino women.
Unless you take 3 generations of Filipino workers who have worked within the healthcare system at various levels, first as a first Canadian immigrant, then as a nurse within our healthcare system, and then as a kinesiologist within the healthcare system. If those 3 women come together, teach you how to cook a meal, and talk about what it was like for them as employees in the Canadian healthcare system.
And this project is not the end. If there's a gap, they'll find a way to fill it. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
The gymnasium floor at the Charles Jago Northern Sports Center has a new look and a new name. Adam Burrows has more now on the recent refurbishment.
The main gym floor at the Northern Sports Center has been refurbished, and with that comes a new look and a new name. In collaboration with the City of Prince George and community partner Brown Ridge Insurance, the refurbished floor features the UMBC Timberwolves Indigenous logo, designed by Gitxsan artist and former UMBC student Trevor Angus. The project, supported by a 6-year sponsorship agreement with Brown Ridge Insurance, will see Gym 2 renamed Brown Ridge Court through to the end of the 2030 season.
It is a major step for us as an institution to really showcase, who we are. Our motto is Anshahana, to have it front and center here, at the sports center where, folks, our Timberwolves will get to play on, but also people will come to the university, get to play on this court and really get to feel what it means, how important that motto is. It's not just a motto. We at the university have to ensure that we embrace that and what it truly means. And yeah, it's a very exciting day to see the new floor like this.
Emily Holmes is a UMBC alumna and played with the UMBC Timberwolves women's basketball team and now works for Brown Ridge Insurance.
This is incredibly special to me in a lot of ways. It's more than just, me just working for Brown Ridge now, but given my journey with the UMBC Timberwolves for 5 years, and I've played on this court since I was a kid, so this place is like a second home to me.
The Timberwolves Indigenous logo at center court is faded, but that was done on purpose.
That was by design. And so it really is for, to kind of us to see it, but to see through it as well, and to really sort of, a more deeper meaning to what the logo means to us here at UMBC.
Holmes mentioned that a project like this allows for not only UMBC to stand out, but the entire community.
UMBC always seems to make these strides forward and, really put our community and our program on the map, by doing these things, incorporating the Indigenous art. It's just speaks to so much of who our community is and what we stand for, and just continues to really put our program on the map.
Fans in the stands at Brown Ridge Court for the Timberwolves men's and women's basketball home openers against the Thompson Rivers Wolfpack on November 3rd will be treated to a ceremonial jump ball commemorating the occasion, and artist Trevor Angus will be courtside for the event. Adam Burrows, CKPG News.
This week on Entertainment Spotlight, it's time for a new movie in the Alien franchise, Alien Romulus, starring Kaylee Spaney, Isabel Medsid, and Archis Renouch, directed by Fede Alvarez.
There she is. You want to break in and steal highly regulated equipment.
This could be our only ticket out of here. Should be in and out in 30 minutes.
In this latest installment in the classic sci-fi horror series, it's set between the events of the original Alien from 1979 and Aliens from 1986. This story concerns a group of young space colonists who, scavenging a derelict space station, come face to face with a xenomorph.
Young?
Stop playing around, man. Just get up.
I'm not playing around. There's something in the water.
What do you mean there's something in the water?
I don't know. There's just something in the fucking water.
This will be the 7th film in the franchise. If you're a fan of any of the previous Alien films, you know that this new movie will have plenty of jump scares and thrilling action moments with some great CGI. And tension that will keep you at the edge of your seat.
Run.
Alien Romulus comes out in theaters everywhere, including here in Prince George today. The lowest gas price in Prince George is sitting at $1.66.9 per litre at Costco. The lowest price in the province right now is in Abbotsford at $1.58.9 per litre. Manitoba has the lowest fuel prices on average in Canada at $1.48.9 per litre, while BC has an average price of $1.73.9 per litre.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit dominos.ca to join the club.
Prince George local Joel Ewart is heading to the 2024 Summer Paralympics in Paris. And Canada Games Plaza was packed today as a send-off party was hosted to wish him luck as he prepares to leave for the Games. Tommy Osborne was down at the party and brings us more.
The 2024 Summer Paralympics is coming up in 2 weeks, and Prince George local Joel Ewart is representing Canada on the wheelchair rugby team.
Sometimes you're putting in work, not really knowing where it'll lead, but for it to end up with me at the Paralympics is really special, and I'm really excited to get things started.
Joel is flying to Paris on Friday, so a send-off party was hosted at Canada Games Plaza to wish him luck.
To see people come out, whether it was family members, friends, teachers, old coaches, or just members of the public to come out and send me off and put into perspective just how much, people really had to support me to get to this moment.
It takes a village with the child, and the villages come out to support them.
Yeah, and as Joel said, we really appreciate everybody taking the time out of their day to come and support him for this day too.
He has integrity. He is absolutely determined and hardworking. He's a great public speaker. He cares about his community. And here's what's impressive. Not only is he Paralympian, he is going to be a student at the Northern Medical Program right after he gets back from the Paralympics.
Joel has been part of the national team program since 2019 and has been working hard to make it to the top 12 to be named to the Team Canada wheelchair rugby roster.
You're always just waiting for that opportunity. I was waiting for the opportunity for a long time to crack that the top 12 on the roster, and I was kind of given that opportunity, and I've taken it and ran with it.
I remember meeting him for the first time, and he was just a little guy, I don't know, 6 years old perhaps. And but even then, you could see that he had a competitive spirit in him, and he wanted to play.
While the rugby is, of course, the main focus, Joel added he's excited to visit Paris, and more importantly, spend time with the team and meet other fellow Paralympians.
It's those times in the airports, those times hanging out with your team in the village and playing card games and things like that. Those are the memories that you really hold on to.
The Paralympics will start on August 28th, with wheelchair rugby starting on August 29th. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
The 67th Annual Provincial Swimming Championships will be coming to Prince George next year. The Prince George Aquatic Centre will host the championship in August of 2025 for disciplines being diving, artistic swimming, water polo, and swimming will be featured, bringing up to 1,800 swimmers and about 6,000 visitors to town. The City of Prince George says this major event will not only showcase the best athletes in the province, but also be a great boost for the local economy.
The last time we hosted this event was back in 2007, and for those who, thinking back, remember that it was a big event. We had a lot of campers camping around the pool, a lot of tents set up, and it was a really fun event.
Good evening again, everyone, and happy weekend. We're heading into our Saturday and Sunday with a little more sunshine than some other areas of the province, that's for sure. So looking back at our satellite, you can see there's lots of instability circulating us with some cloud cover. We've got local smoke factor, but really there's a big upper low that is pushing up that's going to impact the southern half of the province primarily. So there it is there, but as it tracks north, it does spread just a few showers potentially in and around our region. Nothing too substantial though, right here in Prince George. So some parts of our broadcast region will have a lingering shower maybe tonight and into tomorrow morning. But otherwise, it's a pretty clear looking weekend. We've got temperatures that are going to start to improve come Sunday as well. But even tomorrow looking pretty good. So 23 with sunny sky for our day tomorrow. It is a mainly sunny day. Of course, local smoke, though, still in the forecast. Fort St. John, maybe a few showers for you at 22. And down through the southern interior, starting to clear out a little bit after a pretty unsettled Friday. But 30 degrees expected for Kamloops, down through the Okanagan as well. Looking at temperatures at 30 degrees. But still lots of pop-up showers and risks of thunderstorms for this half of the province. And that's the way it'll remain going into late Saturday night and Sunday as well. Broadcast region for us doesn't look too bad for our Saturday, actually. 25 for Burns Lake, 23 sunny sky Vanderhoof, looking good up through Fort St. James, Mackenzie as well. Maybe a few lingering showers in McBride, but you should clear out come late Saturday and into Sunday. So the West Coast looks pretty nice tomorrow, nice and bright at Vancouver, but things are going to change for Sunday. It'll be a pretty soggy start for everybody on Sunday morning at 26 degrees tomorrow, though. 21 in Edmonton. Again, speaking of rain, yes, Edmonton dealing with some rain again tomorrow and down through Calgary as well, in through Regina. We're now starting to see that system spreading into the further east. So temperatures are quite warm still, but yes, we are looking at some showers, which hopefully will help clear out some of that smoke. Of course, widespread smoke earlier today. 26 in Montreal. Things have changed just a smidge there as it's been nice and sunny, but starting to see some showers in the mix now. So showers and then sun is a good way to sum up our weekend. It won't be rain and showers for every part of our region, but certainly some parts will see a few little spots of precipitation. Burns Lake for tonight. Very chilly for your next few overnights. 25 the daytime high tomorrow. Lots of sunshine in the mix for the weekend, stretching into Monday as well. It's a very pleasant looking weekend in Mackenzie. 23 degrees tomorrow, 25 on Sunday. Sunday you'll see probably not many clouds in the sky at all. It'll be a lot of sunshine to enjoy. McBride, a few rain showers tonight into tomorrow as well, especially early, and then hopefully getting a bit of a break late into Sunday, and your temperature does bump up to 26 degrees. We start off the week next week, though, on Monday under sunshine and beautiful temperatures there. 11 tonight in Quesnel. We're up to 25 on your Saturday. Beautiful out there for your Saturday. Sunday looks good as well. Monday, not too bad. Can't complain about that. And here's our forecast heading into the weekend. We're looking at overnight lows of around 8 and 9 for the next couple of days. 23 our high tomorrow. Mostly sunshine expected. Again, on Sunday, we start to see an increase in temperatures, so it starts to get warmer again Sunday with a little more of that milder air. So 26 will be our high Sunday. Lots of sunshine, and that stretches into early next week as well.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit domino's.ca to join the club.
The Prince George Kodiaks are back at it this weekend after a tough loss last week. They currently sit 1-3, and they will be taking on the Okanagan Sun on the road. Tommy Osborne joins us now to break down this weekend's big game. Tommy, what can we expect from this matchup going up against a very tough opponent?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned tough opponent. They are literally the first seed. They're 4-0. They have the best point differential in the league. It is a plus 53 point differential. You compare that with the Kodiaks, they're at a minus 70 point differential, the second worst in the league, unfortunately. So it would be a major upset for the Kodiaks to pull it off. They'll get tested on the road against Okanagan, again, the best in the league right now.
And, you know, obviously a tough matchup. Okanagan's been a perennial great team in this league for years now, but there have been some positives despite the Kodiaks record, particularly on offense. Quarterback Sawyer Thiessen he's shown some flashes. The offense has been able to move the ball. What have you been seeing in terms of some positives?
Well, absolutely, Sawyer Thiessen. He had a fantastic game last week. He really showed off his mobility, his ability to improvise, scramble, extend plays, hit some deep passes. There was a beautiful, I think it was 45-yard touchdown in the second quarter. Sawyer Thiessen has looked great last game. Last game also, the Kodiaks, they got their first rushing touchdown from a running back all year. So the running game got going a little bit. If you get a strong running game to complement Sawyer Thiessen's strong play, the offense could make some noise. Like, they scored 28 points last week. Like, yep. That's good offensive production. So when I think of the positives of the Kodiaks, I think of a continually developing offense that is improving and showing signs of life.
And, you know, we mentioned the offense. The defense has been a bit of a different story. kind of giving up a lot of points, and against this Okanagan team, they can't afford to do that. What's it going to take for the Kodiaks to win and for their defense to step up in this matchup?
Well, you're absolutely right with the defense. They gave up 48 points last week. It's no matter how good your offense is, if you give up,
you can't win that way.
Yeah, it's way too much. The big thing, and I spoke with Coach Jamie Borum as well last week, is the defense. They're just missing tackles. Straight up, there's wide open men. There was one play specifically I remember last week where what should have just been a routine 3 or 4 yard gain, 2 missed tackles, 20 yards now they're on the 1 yard line, and the Valley Huskers score the very next play. Defense has to get the fundamentals right, ramp up those tackles when you can. In fact, Coach Borum said that he might be looking at potential tweaking the roster a bit, maybe give some younger guys on the bench a chance to step up, because the way the defense is bleeding points, you're not going to win games that way.
Yeah, well, it should be interesting. The Kodiaks looking for a big upset this weekend. Tommy, thank you very much for that. And we will go to CKP3 with this man featuring a stud rookie NFL quarterback. Have a look.
Starting off with Drake May. That's Drake May's first NFL touchdown, and he did it in a preseason game where he showed off his mobility. May was extending plays from the pocket and scrambling for big gains all game, a sight which should make Patriots fans happy. Next up, another career first.
Drive out to right center field. This might do it. It will do it. Weston Wilson is going to get to second. He's got the cycle.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
How awesome is that?
Weston Wilson.
Weston Wilson notched his first career cycle and just the 10th in Phillies history, as he pulled off the quadfecta of the single, double, triple, and home run all in the same game. That was also just the 4th cycle all season, and Philadelphia certainly enjoyed not just the cycle, but also a huge 13-3 win over the Nationals. Finally, a line drive.
Santander. How about this for an advancement? Right field, flag card bound. Back-to-back games with a home run for Gunnar.
So much for hang time, right? Gunnar Henderson wastes no time with home run 31 on the season, as this line drive was about as straight a line as a home run can be. That home run also gave the Orioles the league lead in home runs with 187 in tonight's CKP3.
That's all for tonight, folks. Thanks so much for joining us as always. We did it. It's the end of the week. We will see you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good one.